If you're not aware already, the next 2 community days for Pokemon Go are going to be put down to a vote again. The voting is going to take place on August 22nd on Twitter, so if you want to vote for your favorite Pokemon to win for one of the next 2 community days, well, you gotta go on Twitter to do that. If you want more information on when the voting takes place, how to vote, link in the description to the official announcement, of course. The candidates this time around are going to be Caterpie, Grimer, Porygon, and Charmander. Now, at a start, one thing that separates these candidates a little bit is that Porygon does not have a shiny yet. So, of course, no matter how hard you vote for one or the other, Porygon definitely has a slot locked in here, being a brand new shiny Pokemon. But for the other 3, you kind of have to question, well, what special move are they going to get? What's going to set them apart? What do I want from these 3 Pokemon? And yeah, today, Niantic put out an announcement letting us know what those movesets are. Once again, same announcement, link in the description if you want to peer over it yourself. The special Community Day moves are going to be Hurricane for Butterfree, Fire Punch for both Muk and Alola Muk, Tri-Attack for Porygon-Z specifically, and Dragon Breath for Charizard. In this video, I'm going to be going over the viability of these brand new moves on these Pokemon to help guide you in your voting process for this Community Day. So without further ado, let's get into it. Starting out, we have Butterfree. Butterfree is a Pokemon that we already have a shiny for, so it doesn't get that new shiny swag like Porygon does, and it gets Hurricane. Now, as far as its meta viability goes, as a gym defender, a raid attacker, a gym attacker, a PvP Pokemon, a rocket battler, it's bad. It's ridiculously bad. Butterfree would have to get something crazy to make it stand out and make it actually a good Pokemon in any battle mode in this game. And it got Hurricane, a really high energy cost charge move that doesn't help any of its losing matchups, doesn't address any of its issues at all whatsoever. So yeah, Butterfree wasn't going to win already, like initially from the get-go. Least exciting option, and definitely is not going to win. If anybody votes for Caterpie, they're doing it for the memes because... Next up, we have Grimer, the Muk and the Alola Muk with the Fire Punch. Now, initially, I was the most excited for Grimer to potentially win, get a brand new attack, and maybe open up some new doors for it, because the OG Muk, Cantonian Muk, is a really interesting, like, anti-meta Pokemon in both the Great League and in the Ultra League. It's not a Pokemon that you'd want to bring in all the time or very often at all, but it is the kind of Pokemon that when you see it in the wrong situation, you're just like, man, they brought the Kanto, didn't they? And then you take a gnarly L. So this Pokemon, already pretty good in Great League and Ultra League metas, could possibly be better with a Community Day attack. And Fire Punch, unfortunately, is not it. They quote in the announcement that it's a earlier charge move for Muk, so that's pretty cool, but it's not. We already have Thunder Punch. They gave Thunder Punch to Muk as a move pool expansion, so already have an Elemental Punch. And the Fire Punch doesn't really do anything for Muk's losing matchups. I mean, it does help out slightly against Steel-type Pokemon specifically, but Thunder Punch was already hitting most of them for neutral, Dark Pulse was already hitting most of them for neutral. What Muk really needed was something to take its neutral matchups to the next level, and I don't feel like Fire Punch is it. Fire Punch is just kind of like the same thing as Thunder Punch, but a little bit different. Not very exciting. Then on the Alola Muk side of the force, it is an earlier charge move for Alola Muk, so that is pretty cool, but just like the Cantonian Muk, it needed something a little bit more, something with more kick than Fire Punch to really take it to that next level. So unfortunately, Fire Punch isn't going to be it for them. I don't really expect Grimer or Muk, however you want to put it, to win the Community Day vote anyways to begin with. It was already like a less exciting option than Charizard, which is one of the most popular Pokemon. I think it is the #1 most popular Pokemon in like the entire franchise. So the deck was already stacked against Grimer, and the fact that it has a bad Community Day attack that's not very exciting at all, yeah, it's not going to win at all. Personally, I think it's very unlikely that Caterpie and Muk were going to win from the outset, and the fact that they got these very unexciting attacks for their potential Community Day special attacks, I really don't see them winning. And I think it's a little insulting too, a little illusion of choice here, like, oh, vote for your next 2 Community Days, you get to vote for them. But that aside, with the losers being dubbed the losers, I guess we can focus on the winners a little bit more, am I right? And who's the winner of the winners? But of course, Porygon, the brand new shiny Pokemon that was basically destined to win this whole thing from the very beginning. And what special attack is Porygon getting? It's getting Tri-Attack. It's a quote-unquote signature move from the main series games. Now, just about anything can learn Tri-Attack through TMs in the main series games, so it's a little bit awkward, but it definitely is an attack that the Porygon family is known for. Now, we don't have a data mine right now on Tri-Attack stats, but we do know from the announcement that it's going to have a chance to debuff your opponent's attack and defense stat. If you're familiar with Tri-Attack from the main series games, it does have a 20% chance to either burn, freeze, or paralyze the opponent. So I'm expecting it to have, I guess, a 20% chance to debuff the attack and defense, or maybe they'll do something interesting where it's like 20% to drop the attack, 20% to drop the defense. Who knows? We'll have to see what ends up happening when it actually comes out. But for the time being, I'm expecting it to be a low energy cost move, maybe relatively low damage, with a % chance to do something. So what does this mean for Porygon-Z in the meta? Well, Porygon-Z doesn't exactly have the best stats around for PvP, or for raids for that matter. It's a very fragile Pokemon. Like, think about Haunter, Gengar, bam, that's Porygon-Z. And then for its move pool, it has these big nuke attacks, you know, like 80 energy cost charge moves, like Hyper Beam, Solar Beam, Zap Cannon. Lowest energy cost charge move it has at, I think, 75 is Blizzard. So it definitely needs a lower energy cost charge move in order to do anything, because by the time it reaches those charge attacks, it's already basically taken out with fast move damage. So once again, expecting this to be a relatively low energy cost charge move. Well, running some simulations on PvPoke, using Mirror Shot as a stand-in for the Tri-Attack, things don't really get that much more interesting for Porygon-Z. It's able to pull in some interesting bait wins that it couldn't before, but it's still losing for the most part, and losing from mostly fast move damage alone. So for Tri-Attack to really work out, I think it's going to have to be a pretty spectacular attack. Like maybe something with like Body Slam kind of stats, but then also have the chance to debuff your opponent. If that were to all work out right, I think that could be a bit better for the Porygon-Z. That said, I don't expect Porygon-Z to stand out too much with it, but of course, all will be known once we get the data mine. For the time being though, Porygon-Z probably going to win because it is a shiny Pokemon. Tri-Attack, it's exciting. I kind of wish Porygon and Porygon 2 were also getting it, but right now it looks like just Porygon-Z. So hopefully Niantic will change their mind, give it to all the Porygons, spread the wealth. But for the time being, Z could be interesting. And then finally, we have the Charizard, Dragon Breath Charizard. So everybody hyping on the Mega Pokemon right now already know that Mega Charizard X is a Dragon Fire Pokemon. So Charizard, finally a Dragon Pokemon, and it gets the Dragon type fast move, Dragon Breath. So definitely a direct reference to the Megas that are coming out eventually. 2020, we don't know when. At any rate, Dragon Breath on Charizard is pretty interesting. Looking at simulations in the Great League, it doesn't really seem to do a whole lot for Charizard. I mean, you already got like Altaria, Dragon Breath Dad over here, and then the meta of the Great League really isn't all that in favor of a Dragon Breath using fire Pokemon. I mean, grass types are roaming around everywhere, steel types are a pretty big deal. Azumarill, top of the meta, Dragon Breath isn't helping it. So in the Great League, I don't expect Dragon Breath Charizard to do a whole lot. However, in the Ultra League, things really heat up with Dragon Breath Charizard. Both Giratinas, the altered form and the origin form, and then when it comes to the altered form, both the Shadow Claw and the Dragon Breath moveset kneel before Charizard. Charizard just beats them. It's like it's a Dragon Breath user that isn't weak to Dragon type attacks. Think about Dialga, but in the Ultra League, bam, you got Charizard. On top of that, Charizard still maintains its wins over Fairy-type Pokemon. It's still resisting that charm damage. Yeah, it's hitting them with a resisted fast move, but the energy gains are basically on par. It needed to land the Blast Burn before to win, and yeah, it can still do that roughly as well with the Dragon Breath, while also picking up those other matchups. And then finally, Registeel, of course. Registeel getting its tushy whooped by Charizard, same as before. I mean, we're resisting the Flash Cannon, we're resisting the Focus Blast, we have the Blast Burn. So yeah, relatively same energy gains. Dragon Breath, definitely there for the W. Now there is one small problem with this that many of you may be quick to realize, and that is to do a lot of the things that Charizard does really well. In addition to the gains with the Dragon Breath, you're going to have to spend an Elite TM to get that Blast Burn. Blast Burn is also Community Day attack, but we're not getting both on this Community Day. We're only getting one. That way we can buy an Elite TM and use it on Charizard, right? Niantic's Master Plan revealed. Of course, you could always wait for the December event and then just evolve a Charmander and presumably get both. No confirmation, but I would expect it to get both. However, for this Community Day, we're just going to be getting the Dragon Breath. That wouldn't go saying that Fire Spin Charizard is down and out. Fire Spin does still have slightly better energy gains than the Dragon Breath does, and Fire Spin also deals fire-type damage, stab fire-type damage for that matter, so it can allow Charizard to farm down some matchups that Dragon Breath wouldn't be as useful in. So I do feel like Fire Spin Charizard still gonna be in the meta, and then when it comes to those Legacy Wing Attack Charizards, which are also pretty spicy and interesting, definitely better energy gains than both of those fast moves, so also still present in the meta. Dragon Breath is just a different option for the Ultra League, but definitely does look like the better option from the word go here. Then as far as the Master League or Premier Cup Master League is concerned, Dragon Breath Charizard is kind of awkward. Your matchup against Metagross really isn't that much better. It's actually kind of worse because you have to bait in order to win, where before you had a little bit of a better time going on. You also hurt it a lot more with the Fire Spin damage. And then the Togekiss matchup can be a little dicey too, because if you don't get the baits, well then the charm is just going to kind of run you down. So I'd say overall Dragon Breath Charizard is roughly as viable as Charizard has ever been for the Premier Cup or for the just OG Master League. However, I know you guys are excited about those Mega Evolutions. Could Mega Charizard X or Mega Charizard Y be better? And from what I can tell, Mega Charizard Y is making some pretty decent use of it in the Master League. As many of you are probably already aware, I do have predictive Mega Stats loaded up on PvPoke already, so we can see what these Megas may look like in the future. If you want to know what the best Mega Evolutions are for the Master League, definitely check out that video, link up above and in the description. But yeah, Mega Charizard X, the Dragon Charizard, using the Dragon Breath Community Day move. How does that do against the meta? And yeah, you can see it gets some wins, it gets some losses. It's about half and half, but not that impressive, right? We're still losing to Dialga. We're definitely losing to the Groudon, so no big W's here, right? We do get a win over Metagross, which isn't all that impressive. I mean, we are a Fire-type Pokemon. We already have Dragons that can already do that over the Metagross. So nothing too crazy going on here, aside from maybe the Togekiss and the one shield. So 2 shield Togekiss, I don't know about that, but 1 shield Togekiss, hey, we're getting that win. What's more impressive, however, though, is that Mega Charizard Y. Now, Mega Charizard Y is not a Dragon-type Pokemon. It's just a Fire-flying-type Pokemon, just like OG Charizard is. But with that, it's a not Dragon-type Pokemon using Dragon Breath, which means it's a Dragon Breath user that's not weak to Dragon Breath. So, Dialga, thinking about that, right? And if you check its battles out, it is getting one more win over the other Charizard. And that one more notable win is going to be that Groudon. Now, of course, we are still losing to the Dialga here, but the loss against Dialga is only by like a hair. Like, if you check this out, right? We have to land the Blast Burn in order to kick its butt, and we just don't get it in time, right? But if we do have a little bit of an energy lead on it, you know, you swap this into a Groudon. Groudon has to get the heck out of there because there's no way it's going to beat a Fire-flying type Pokemon. And yeah, we do win. You land the Blast Burn, you take it right out of there. W for the Charizard. So I think there are a lot of real circumstances where Mega Charizard Y could soar ahead in the Master League because, like, you know, you already dunk on the other Dragon-type Pokemon because they're using Dragon Breath. You're using Dragon Breath. You're not weak to Dragon Breath. They are. And then Dialga, you're just like one little baby bit away from being able to take it out in the one shield situation, which is pretty reasonable to set up. And then on top of that, Togekiss does not want anything to do with you. So I think Mega Charizard Y could be pretty hyped for the Master League. Now, if you are thinking about Mega Pokemon, you might remember my Great League Ultra League Best Megas video. Once again, link up above and in the description. And Altaria was looking pretty cool in the Ultra League because it's a Dragon Breath user, but it's a Dragon Fairy Pokemon, so it's not weak to Dragon Breath. How does our OG Charizard stand up to that? Well, it loses. Definitely loses, because Altaria here, Mega Altaria, is a Fairy type. Fairy type has a double resistance to the Dragon type attacks, so then the Dragon typing, which is weak to Dragon type attacks, only takes away one of its 2 resistances. So it still resists Dragon type attacks, and yeah, Charizard's taking neutral damage from that, so Mega Altaria does win. However, Mega Altaria does lose to Registeel, and it loses to other Charmers, so who's the real winner here? Am I right? So to wrap things up on the Community Day vote, Caterpie, definite loser. Nobody's going to vote for it. I don't know why it's on the ballot. Grimer had the chance to be cool. Wasn't. Definitely not going to win. I don't know why it's on the ballot. Porygon, brand new shiny. Really exciting. The new attack could be hit or miss. I'm expecting it to miss a bit, but could be interesting for Porygon-Z. And then Charmander, getting that Dragon Breath, could be really cool for the Ultra League for normal Charizard, and then when it comes to Mega Charizard Y specifically, I could see it being really awesome for it in the Master League. Aside from that though, nothing too hot going on in the Great League, and Mega Charizard X, it's a Dragon type using Dragon Breath, man. We already got a billion of those. And you know what? They all lose to the Dragon Breath users that aren't weak to Dragon Breath. Personally, I think it's really lame that we're getting this illusion of choice situation for the Community Day vote. Our first Community Day vote actually had some really interesting options. There was reasons to want to, vote for the Sandslash or vote for, Weedle and all that kind of stuff. But this one just seems like, hey, here's 2 poop options and here's the 2 options you're going to vote for anyways, right? So why are they even making it a vote? So in protest, I'm not going to be voting on the Community Day vote. If you want Charizard or Porygon to win, I also recommend that you don't vote either, because those 2 Pokemon are absolutely going to win no matter what. It's really freaking lame. So I think it might speak to Niantic a little bit if they didn't get as much engagement with their little PR stunt this time around, because it was such a lame PR stunt. At any rate, that aside, if you have any questions on this content, comment below. Let me know what's up. I'll be happy to help you out. And if you enjoyed this content and you want to see more like it, well, make sure to subscribe to SwagTips. If you're curious about the brand new Unova Pokemon, the Gen 5ers that just came out, I do have some content coming on them later this week, so how good is that Whimsicott? Well, you're going to have to subscribe to find out. SwagTips. I'd also like to give a special shout out to these patron supporters. You want to support Swagman on Patreon? Link in the description. How good is that Whimsicott? Well, you're going to have to subscribe to find out. Or I guess click on my video when it comes out, but it'd be really cool if you subscribe.